Guys, I love watching when 8 o'clock Eastern hits and Japan goes online. The market opens and they start turning servers on, and orders that never were filled the night before start filling in from the previous night. And you just get that shock wave of activity immediately at 8 o'clock. And then order starts going in, filling that people send in the overnight, and then they start filling in as well, reversing right behind those old orders, and then the orders right on top of those. So interesting how market actually fluctuates. I want to actually kind of doing an update. I had to readjust my line instead of touching it here to kind of bring it down
New YouTube video.
where right now is we have the trend of a triangle, where it means the close never actually passed through it, it just hit it. Um, so that's so we did not break the trend line yet. Depends on this candle. Is it going to keep going down, or will actually reverse go back up? Let's go to 1 day. I created here a new trend line where I took it from the January 29th, the high, on the 4th of July, and then adjusted with the low of July 1st, creating a new trend line. So if this candle, the one just opened, if it continues going down, we have a good possibility of probably hitting within a day or two, if it starts slowing down, somewhere in 31.8, or or even breaking right through this resistance and keep on going. So that's kind of where I see this possibility. But we definitely have here a new trend, and that new trend is bearish, no longer bullish. No matter how people want to say, oh, we're bullish, we're heading here or there, as soon as we break against this triangle, we're bearish. And the only way for us to be bullish is actually break through the triangle going up, and possibility of that is very small. Now here's a reason why. In 2008, I was introduced to a software that actually carried no name officially beyond regular people. I was actually introduced as software to a person who was responsible trading with I believe it's called mutual funds. It's actually funds of people where they put in funds, and then a person gets assigned to that account, and actually he trades on stock market with those funds going in, going out. Those kind of people that trade those kind of big amounts are referred to them as big ships. I'm not sure what actually a whale would be even considered as a name for those people. They are trading billions of dollars. And one thing he actually introduced to me is a software that at that time he said actually was not fully legal software, because it would actually impact the stock market dramatically when they actually used it. And they used it at all time because Otherwise, he would have to manually put orders in, and he couldn't put $1 billion at a time. He had to use portions, depends which stock they're entering into. It could be, 5,000 at a time, 50,000, 100,000, 250,000 at a time. So instead of doing manually and impacting the market with these kind of a bumps every single time he does it, they had a software where they actually would program the software, create a trend, and these trends that right now we're talking about, these trends right here, these how those trends would actually start being created in the market. Uh, so as I watched today, and it broke through this trend right here, and each trend represents possibly someone else that actually running that type of a software. 13 years later today, I'm pretty sure there is a lot of those softwares, probably even legalized. Because if you can right now use IAs to trade, why not use a software like that actually behaves similar to IAs? And as we broke, I started noticing um, somebody's software bouncing these. I don't know. I am in a minute chart, and this candle tails. Um, Usually, what actually happens is when you have somebody wants to come in into a market and they're coming in heavy, they cannot, like I already said, go in with a full amount. So they have to go in portions. And when they program that software has to fluctuate as a strut. So when something comes down, let's give an example. We have a dollar two three. I'm sorry, $10 9 8 7. Every line represents a dollar. So he would actually, so the software would actually set a buy order at $10 and have set another buy order at $9, and those are all limit orders that we send in to platform like Binance. 876. So there is a certain criteria by which that software is being programmed to do that. When
New YouTube video.
when that Now, when why it's actually creating multiple layers of orders is when that order comes in, the software goes through and gets filled. Software has to fill in and create immediately another order. And sometime when a drop is fast, and there's a lot of people dumping, the order's not able to reach the server, like say Binance server in this case, to get it filled. So that's why we have those orders are actually in, and every single order, that deeper it goes, like example this drop right here, the order would actually multiply by 2 or 3 times. So let's say if this order right here was at, let's say at $10 would actually was 50,000 or maybe 100,000, then the order at $9 would be at let's say 250,000. The order at here would be at let's say half a mil. Then this order here would be at a mil. So what actually happens is when these limit orders come in and these drops are breaking through, they're actually slowing this drop down, forcing this drop to start bouncing back up. Because remember, these are buy orders. So when buy orders start slowing down, when buyers slowing down, people as well as trying to buy in, so they'll start creating that retract. And while this retract is happening, software is capable to start throwing those new orders in. So when it start dropping again, it start hitting. So that's why when you start looking at these candles right here, you start seeing new orders set with a good size amount, that when it hits it, it bounces back. It hits, it bounces back. It hits, it bounces back. And also, software can be actually designed. This is not actually what I seen in 2008, but understanding how programming works. This actually software can also be designed to actually chase up the orders to kind of like example. You're seeing that it's a reversal going up. and you put in a order and the order was not filled to sell, so what you're going to do, you're going to actually put another order to sell, and you can raise the price and it still doesn't catch, you can raise them. So pretty much software actually able to do that, but in a lot faster and a lot more kind of prestige technology wise. So you can see those chases up happening right here as well, and then finally it breaks through again. The chase up breaks through. Then we start getting some buyers because as we can see, software here started realizing there is buyer starts coming in. So it doesn't want to compete with buyers because otherwise it actually would just chase off the price to the moon. So actually software stops, buyers take over, they'll run with that uptrend. And as that uptrend comes, you can see again somebody put in a big order here to buy, looks like. So when the sellers were selling, they were just hitting that order until that order got filled. Right here is no longer somebody using software. This is somebody actually put in a limit order. I would estimate probably around a half a mil, maybe 2, 3 mils, and it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 minutes to get that order exhausted or filled by sellers. So as we can see, when we actually still had a little bit that order right here with those two more candles, but as soon as those orders got filled, we broke through again. As I can see, software was not used here as well. Why? Not sure. Possibly whoever was running the software at the time, the software ran out of money because also there's a limit that you can put into the software how much you can take. Um, I would actually want to know if anybody actually seen a software I'm talking about, or a very similarity of a software I'm talking about these days. I'm talking about in recent 1, 2 years. I would actually like to actually look into that software because it is interesting technology, and especially with some of us that are saying, "Oh, we're going to become millionaires." Those software might be actually of interest to us down the road. So, again, another drop. Um, if there was a software used here, it was not as heavily used as the one right here. We are kind of keep on going and we keep on dropping. Right here at this point, primarily we have uh, people trading, getting in, getting out, and trying to actually keep themselves secured in this drop. I hope we continue going down because if we continue going down in the next 24 hours, we close below this line. This line, and whoever was actually using the software to create this line is no longer in control of this particular trend. That doesn't mean that they cannot create another trend, but this particular trend is done. Um, so that's kind of where we stand. What I see is this going to be a strong trend? Honestly, I'm not even sure if there's going to be a trend. It's just at least something that right now it looks reasonable for me to actually take some points and create to confirm that this is at this point we are right now in a bear market move, no longer a bull market move. The minute we close a candle below this trend, so we have quite a ways to go um, to hit the 22 or even hit 30 or 28. But right now, the first question is, can we continue the bear trend for the next 24 hours? Or can we break loose and just break through all this in the next couple hours? We'll see. Um, I'll be honest, I did not watch the last 2 months how we were dropping. And I'm talking about these drops because I got locked up here with all my coins. So kind of put in take profit orders. Didn't even bother with the stop loss orders because my understanding here was everything eventually recovers. So why bother when it will recover? So very interesting for me will be to watch this. Are we going to have that big of a candle as right here? Probably not. Most likely not. And here's why I say that. Let's take put this as a theory. All buyers that wanted to buy Bitcoin, they came in already bought it. All sellers that wanted to sell the coin, they already sold it. So when nobody's buying, nobody's selling, that means nothing's going nowhere anymore. So I think we exhausted a lot of sellers through here. Right now, we're majority we have here. As we got closer and candles start shrinking, becoming smaller, the remaining people are left are the swing traders and day traders, and they are pretty much. And we still have a little bit of people; those are buying and selling, but not at the rate we were having it here. Um, New buyers still do come in because when you get introduced, you most likely get introduced to Bitcoin for first before something else. So we are having a lot smaller candles, and I would be actually surprised if we can actually break out and create a large candle out of a small candle. I would love to see that. But at the same time, look at this. Look at this nice drop again. 33.5. Beautiful. The first drop was 34. Right now we at 33.525. I am in a short trade. I do have a security running at a long trade just in case we get reversed. Do not know, but for some reason I've been taught to do that a long time ago. I did took actually stock market trading class in 2008. Be honest, because well, everything that I got taught, I never had a chance to use it because I had that crazy day where I lost all my money. So very little that I remember, barely anything that I remember from this class. But it was an extensive 9 month class, and it cost a fortune. So oh wow, you guys are just saying, look at that. See, these drops right here are limit orders. As you guys can see, limit orders where they were is that's where you get that jump. As between limit orders, they were nothing. So we had that boom, 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 and then you had to immediately buyers starts coming in, or a software start triggering buys, and then you start filling in those buys orders as you were seeing that boom, 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 boom. So in between there were blanks, and when there you have blanks, you have that quick drop. So that's one of the other reasons why we had these big drops, and because everybody's going forward. No, people were canceling their orders that actually were missed. So you had very little orders, um, were left behind, that were forgotten about, that were filling in. That's why we have big drops. Are we? So I'm kind of wondering how much drops we going to have, especially when we break through here. We might not have much limit orders at all, and seconds can be going through. In seconds, we can go through 500 through even 1,000 in a second. So right now, again, we have little buyers coming in as sellers coming in, and that's kind of a small battle. There are a little bit more buyers right now than sellers. That's why we're having a climb up. People are trying to get on board and say, hey, that's probably the bottom. We're immediately recovering. There's also some traders that are actually trying to trade this small move. So what it is, they're trying to get in, and these buy orders is that actually slow this down. Sometimes will be those traders that are actually trying to get in as it bounces, catch that, and then try to get out as you start seeing this moving down. That's they're just trying to take that small spread, but here that small spread can be let's say they trigger right here and trigger out right here. That's 0.3%, almost 0.4%. If you're trading at let's say 20,000, 30,000, that can be easy $100, $100 to $200 flip. So especially with the small fees that Binance have in futures, you can actually do that in leverage. So that's just what we have. I need to reduce my insurance for reversal. I am going to reduce my insurance, and I just sold. As you guys can see, it did react slightly here before this took down. So I'm right now holding a $5,000 insurance. I need to probably. We're doing good, I would say. Um, let's do short at the market. Okay. Oh well, I just opened the wrong thing. But oh well. Oh well. So I hope some of this information made sense. Again, I seen the software and that's how I understood it. And as I trade, I kind of remember about this software. I'm like, be nice to share about it. So might not be exactly I understood it correctly, but that's just how I understood it. I'll talk to you guys soon.